All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to get y'all set up here. We got to talk. So welcome to my channel. My name is Kejuan-Marquis, and God bless everybody watching. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Today is Wednesday? Almost at the weekend. So I'm making this video, and this is more of a serious video than I'm used to making. But with this channel, I'm going to talk about, culture and the society we live in, as well as my hobbies and interests. So today we're going to talk about people who mock the dead, and I'm going to title this video, Mocking the Dead, Society Needs a Reality Check. So I'm going to talk about three people. I'm going to talk about, most recently, Charlie Kirk. I'm going to talk about George Floyd, and I'm going to talk about Kevin Samuels. And these are three very key figures in society. Online presence were huge, and the aftermath of what happened to George Floyd sparked mass controversy. And then what happened with Charlie Kirk most recently, sparked a lot of controversy. And I want to preface this video saying I am a Christian. So what I'm going to say is based on a Christian perspective. So if you just hear me out, I would say just hear me out, So there's a passage in the Bible that references the times we live in, the end times. And it was an indicator of the way that people would behave during the last days. And Christ made it known that people would be fierce and people would be without natural affection. These are two main indicators of the way people would behave. And I feel like it fits society perfectly. Not just these three people, but with just over the last 20 or so years where people lack natural affection. Someone passes away, we mock them. Someone has immense. You remember that? What's her name? Greta Thunberg or whatever. She has that medical condition, and people would always take jabs at her and make fun of her and things like that for her facial expressions, the way she would behave, and things like that. She kind of went viral and stuff. Well, Charlie Kirk, Kevin Samuels, and George Floyd are good examples of people who were mocked in the society we live in, having no natural affection and being fierce. If someone passes away and you disagree with them, it's not free reign to just mock the person. That's like evil behavior. If I'm being straight up in this video, and I will be, I think that's evil behavior. I believe it's an indicator that Satan has a stronghold on people in this society. When you want to make fun of someone who left a child or two behind, when you want to make fun of someone who left a family, because everyone has family somewhere, right? Kevin Samuels was another one. Surely he has family somewhere that he left behind. And if you want to mock that person just because they would get on women or debate college students or whatever, or mock someone who passed away a violent death, getting suffocated by a cop, that's not okay. And it's an indicator of the society we live in. Just letting y'all know, and it's going to get worse if it doesn't change, So let's start with George Floyd. George Floyd was someone who I hadn't heard about until the situation happened, where the cop had his knee on his neck, and subsequently George Floyd passed away. So there was a lot of mocking of George Floyd. Not okay. Moving on to Kevin Samuels. I have more information, so we're going to move along. So Kevin Samuels was someone who was a relationship guru, where he would basically speak to people, mostly women, about what they expect in a relationship long term. The women would say things like, okay, I want a man that's 6 foot plus. He needs to make 6 figures. He needs to be muscular. He needs to own businesses and things like that. Very high expectations, and I don't blame him. Aim high. But Kevin Samuels would come in after he listened to him and be like, okay, well, what do you bring to the table? And this is where things would get interesting. This is where the guys would love it. So the women would be like stuck. They wouldn't know how to respond because they don't usually hear these types of questions. No one really thinks about this stuff. What do I bring to the table? It's always what I'm looking for. So the women will be a little stuck, and they wouldn't really know how to properly respond to it. And he would also bring up things about the woman like, hey, tell me how much you weigh. How tall are you? What's your education level? How much do you make? And these things would be used to show the women that maybe your expectations are a bit high of the man. Most men aren't 6 feet plus. Most men aren't naturally muscle bound, so to speak. Most men don't own multiple businesses. Very, very high expectations, and I don't blame them. But let's make it make sense. Let's even the playing field a little bit. And the stuff that women were bringing to the table, their weight, their height, and things like that. Let's talk about my sisters, my beautiful sisters, the weave, the fake hair, and stuff like that. These are things that men don't really look for. They don't really value in a long-term relationship. And Kevin Samuels made it his point to really inform the women and let them know. And the women, when he passed away about 3 years ago in his sleep. And the women would get online and mock him. And it was really, that to me was really the start to make me open my eyes like, wow, some people these days just really need prayer, That what else can you do if you don't know someone but pray for them? People really need prayer. People would just wait till someone dies and they mock them because they weren't educated or well informed enough to have a proper debate about towards somebody. So instead of using critical thinking skills and compartmentalizing information, we turn to violence, we turn to mocking, which I consider a form of violence, psychological violence. And wasn't okay. Just mocking someone who passes away is like, again, evil tendencies in my opinion. And we're going to talk about the most recent person that passed away, Charlie Kirk.
My name is Charlie. Wishing the death on somebody like that, I don't think that's okay. I don't think it should be tolerated.
If we limit one free speech, unfortunately, we limit all free speech.
A whirlwind of emotions is taking over Texas State University after a student is expelled for their actions in this viral video.
My name is Charlie.
The student can be seen appearing to mock Charlie Kirk's death by grabbing his neck, falling to the floor, then spitting on the ground. This happened during a vigil for Kirk held at the school Monday night. One student, Hayden Allard, spoke with the person just minutes before this happened.
I was like, hey man, what's your, I want to get some input of why you feel this mad, why you feel enraged. He just shook his head and he was like, F Charlie Kirk, all my dead homies. He kept saying stuff like that and shaking his head. He's like, you're just going to talk to a brick wall. You're not going to get anything out of me.
Earlier today, Governor Greg Abbott responded to the video on X, calling for the expulsion of the student, saying, quote, "This conduct is not accepted in our schools. Expel this student immediately."
While many social media users expressed their heartbreak and horror at Kirk's passing, thousands of sick users also flooded social media to celebrate the passing of the co-founder of Turning Point USA. Disturbing reactions ranged from mocking memes to outright cheering.
Clap if you care. All right, let's move on.
One user shared a video of herself dancing with a caption that read, "Charlie Kirk was just shot in the neck. This is cause for celebration." Others have shared images showing party balloons and memes with phrases like, "Rest in piss." The popular X account, Libs of TikTok, posted a disturbing compilation of people openly mocking Kirk's death. The post called out the deranged leftists as pure evil.
Charlie Kirk was someone who went around, I don't know what you call these people, but he would go around to colleges and speak to people. Didn't really know much about him outside of that. And he would talk about pressing issues. And one that I know for sure he talked about was the point of college. He would talk about, is college really worth it? And you would have students, obviously they're in school because they're like, I need to get an education to have a job. And he was just trying to offer different perspectives. Like, look where he's at, making a living and things like that. I think he was in politics too, but he didn't, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't even go to school. So he was just trying to show people like there's other alternatives, there's many billionaires and stuff, millionaires who never went to college, who dropped out of college and whatnot. So he was just informing the students, hey, there's a different way. You don't always have to go to college. You know, think outside the box, invent something. You know, turn to social media is taking over. Go to social media. If you have a personality, if you have something to say, you never know. Give it time, you never know. And usually the students would, well, sometimes the students would disagree with him. And ultimately he was gunned down. And people would mock him. There was a situation with a celebrity, Jimmy Kimmel, who got his show temporarily taken down for the comments he made about Charlie Kirk too. I don't know exactly what he said. I couldn't find the videos. But it just goes to show you ultimately, and these are 3 examples, but I'm sure there are more throughout history of people mocking people for their viewpoints and opinions. And I think it just goes to show the society we live in. And again, going forward, where is this going to go? If we continue down the road of people mocking people and making fun of the victims of crimes and passing away in their sleep and whatnot based on what they said and believed in society, where is that going to go in 10 years? I don't think it's a good indicator of society today. I think we really need a wake-up call. You know, what that wake-up call is, you know, let God be the judge of that. But there's a disconnect between individuals based on race, based on viewpoints, based on gender, and things like that, where if you don't see it my way, it's the highway. I'm right, you're wrong. Matilda, I'm right, I'm wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm big, you're little, and there's nothing you can do about it. I got sisters, don't blame me.
2-directional drill. You run it backwards, the numbers go down. Watch your speedometer.
Cool.
See?
Yeah. Daddy, you're a crook.
What?
This is illegal.
Yeah, keep drilling. Do you make money? Do you have a job?
No, but don't people need good cars? Can't you sell good cars, Dad?
Listen, you little wiseacre. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it. Whoa.
That's a good movie too. If you haven't seen Matilda, watch Matilda. That was a good movie. So, yeah, I just think it's an indicator of the way people behave in society. And it's not good. It's not good. I don't know where this society is going to be in 10 years, 15 years, but if this continues, I think people are going to turn from waiting till people die to voice their true opinions to being like, oh, you disagree? Where they just go all in on people. And I'm laughing because but it's not a funny situation. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Kejuan-Marquis. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I post videos about things I'm interested in. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to touch on topics that I can draw correlations to when it comes to Christianity. And if you're watching this video, examine your ways, examine your true beliefs. If someone brings something to you, let's say LGBTQ, and you're a Christian, hear that person out. You may be able to hear that person. They'll love that you value their opinion and hear what you have to say, and then you can take over. Then let the Spirit take over. And maybe you can turn that person. If you're someone who is speaking to a child and they have their own opinions about something, talk to that person. Be an older person, you may be able to change that young man or young woman's opinion about things. Ultimately, just think before you speak. I think it's the moral of this video. Think before you speak. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Bye.